Good evening. Welcome to the Fairview Park Marriott for the INOVA Blood Donor Services Your Type Matters Gala. My name's AJ Hughes. I'm the manager of the fixed sites. I see so many familiar faces here. It's such a pleasure to be up here. So this is to honor all our blood donors and our coordinators. And to start the evening off, it is my absolute honor to introduce the director of INOVA Blood Donor Services, Terry Craddock.
Whew, those lights are bright. So good evening and welcome. It's so great to see all of you here again, and I love looking out in the audience and seeing all these colors. The O pauses certainly stand out in their orange, as we can see on AJ. So what do you think my blood type is? O negative. Yep, that's it. 7% of the population. Yay. Oh, they're all at that table. Nice. Nice. So I just want to welcome all of you and say thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule to come and spend an evening with us. 2016 was a really great year for us. We had several really wonderful things happen. The first one that we all don't really even talk about anymore, but this time last year it was a really big deal, which was bringing up testing for the mosquito-borne virus called Zika. So that was a really big deal for us. We had to do it really quickly, but as usual, our testing staff, our IT team, everybody rallied around and we brought up Zika testing before the deadline date from the FDA, which was like November something. We brought it up in September. So that allowed us to not really worry about where people traveled anymore. Yay! So that, like I said, that made it out so that we didn't have to worry about where anybody traveled. We would just test you to make sure that you were negative for Zika. So hopefully we'll have a little bit of time before anything else like that comes around. The other wonderful thing that happened is we were awarded the Adventist Healthcare Blood Services contract. So we now are supplying blood products for Adventist Healthcare up in Maryland. They have two hospitals, Shady Grove and Washington Adventist. So that was really exciting for us. And it also is allowing us to open our first donor center up in Maryland. So that's a really big deal. So often our donors, especially donors that donate at our sports drives, they're always like, where can I donate in Maryland? So now we're going to have a location, hopefully by the end of this year. So just relax, enjoy your dinner. I hope you have a great night. And we have some wonderful speakers that I think all of you will enjoy. So just relax, enjoy your dinner, and we'll be back in I don't know, 20 minutes, give or take. Okay, thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to continue on with our award ceremony. How was dinner? I did have to get here early to cook all this. So, before we start the next part of our program, I'd like to just do a few informal thank yous. Could I have all the people who work for INOVA please just stand at your seats? How about anybody who is a volunteer at INOVA? And we had some wonderful help tonight. We thank you so much for the volunteer help. We've had several volunteers over the course of this week that have helped put things together and make sure that the evening goes off without a hitch. Okay, and now just the INOVA Blood Donor Services people, please stand. Thank you so much. You, the donors, make all of this happen. and all of the colleagues at INOVA Blood Donor Services. Everybody loves to come here, and thank you for that. At this point, we're going to present an award to one of our Blood Donor Services colleagues, the Bernadette Veland Service Award. I would like Terry Craddock to come up, and she is going to present this for me.
So I have the privilege of presenting the Bernadette Veland Service Award. Bernadette was an account manager that worked with us several years ago who passed away from pancreatic cancer. But before she died, she exhibited all the wonderful qualities of an account manager, and she was devoted to saving patients' lives, and she loved all of her blood drive coordinators and all of the donors. So today, we are going to present this award to one of our staff who exhibits all the qualities that we look for in an INOVA Blood Donor Services staff person. She's dedicated. She does everything that we need to take care of our blood donors. She's worked with us since 2006. A lot of you maybe have talked to her as she started out as a telerecruiter, and now she's my senior admin coordinator. Imelda. Come on, Imelda. Come on, Imelda. Keep coming. You're almost here. So Imelda acts as an informal leader for us. She makes sure that we all do what we're supposed to do. She has the responsibility to make sure I'm where I'm supposed to be, and that's a pretty big task. So I'm really excited to present you with this award. Don't look so surprised.
Because I don't know about this.
There you go. All right, so we're going to move along to honor all of our donors. AJ, your turn.
I'm back. Okay, thank you so much. I love the little... Okay, we are going to begin with honoring our whole blood donors. So we're going to start with our 5-gallon donors, which is the point at which we are honored by your presence. You've worked so hard to get to that 5-gallon mark, and we appreciate all of you being here. So I'm going to call out some of the increments. I just want you to stand at your seat, please, and be recognized. So all of you who are here for 5 gallons, please stand up. Thank you so much. Our 6-gallon donors, please stand. Wonderful, thank you. And our 7-gallon donors, please. Can I have our 8-gallon donors stand, please? And our 9-gallon donors, please. Who do we have for 10 gallons? Wow. So that's 80 times. We're kind of hitting into some of those big numbers now. In fact, the rest of our increments all fit on one page now. How about our 11-gallon donors? And our 12-gallon donors. Wow. Lucky number 13. Thank you so much. 14-gallon donors, please. and 15 gallons. Wow. 16 gallons. Who is here that has donated 17 gallons? Our 18-gallon donors, please. Wow. 19 gallons. $20-gallon donors. Wow. Another amazing number. 21 gallons. 22 gallons. Who is here who's donated 23 gallons? They get harder and harder to find. There's fewer and fewer. What did I leave off with? Okay. 24 gallons. For 25 gallons, I would like to actually have Christopher Wollenberg. Please join me up on the stage, Christopher. Christopher has donated 25 gallons and is the recipient of our C. Barry Cook Award. C. Barry Cook was our founding medical director.
Thank you.
Thank you. And this award was created in honor of him. We're going to step over here and we're going to get a few pictures.
Okay.
Thank you so much. Here. Okay, thank you. We appreciate you being here. It's a pretty amazing accomplishment. Who is here who has donated 26 gallons? 27. There are two people here who are our top donors for whole blood. I would like Esther Mensch and Richard Cheka to please join me. Dick, come on up. A simple bow from the waist. Okay, thank you so much. Thank you, Esther. We're in. Okay, we're in. All right, a couple pictures. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Esther has not only donated 28 gallons of blood, but is also a volunteer with INOVA and has been for years and years. And Dick Cheka is a coordinator for our Holy Spirit blood drives, which have yielded hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of units. They've done over 100 blood drives with us. So, and he's no neg. We're going to talk a little bit about our ABC donors. So, automated blood collection is where we draw platelets. We also can draw red cells and plasma. And these donors put in an incredible amount of time, of course, in terms of just the time they have to spend with us. So, of course, they love it. I mean, who wouldn't love spending time with us? So, but it is very time consuming. So we are going to start with those people who have donated platelets or plasma or red cells 50 times in our automated blood collections. Where's our 50-time donors? There's really a lot of you. 60 donations. 70 donations. 80 donations. Donors who have donated 90 times with us. And now the big hurdle. Where are our 100-time donors? Donors who have donated 110 times, please. Donors at 120 donations. $130 donations. Wow. Who is here at 140 donations? Another big threshold, 150 times. Who's donated 150 times? You get a really cool jacket, too, at 150. $160 donations. $170 donations. Wow. Who's here that's donated 180 times? Wow. How about 200? Wow. 200 donations. Pretty amazing. We're in rarefied air now. Who's here for 210? Wow. Thank you, Ron. Terry's dad. 220. $230 times. How about 240? $260. $270 donations. We're going to make a little bit of a jump here. So we're going to go to 300 donations. Where are my 300 donors? So Richard Murphy and Eric Nelson, you're both here? So these gentlemen, if you could come up and join me. Come on up, Richard, Eric. Come on up. Eric, Eric. Oh. You're Richard.
50-50 shot.
I've lost at worse odds, though. So, Richard's going to be presented with the Freydun Atari Award. Freydun Atari years ago was one of our medical directors who really was instrumental in pushing the program forward. And at 300, that was such a milestone. He really didn't think anybody would ever get to that. So we have a 300 club that you are now officially indoctrinated into. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And please come over here. We're going to get a couple of pictures. Okay, thanks.
Thank you.
Edward Stull, are you here? 310 donations. No. Who's here for 320? 330? 340? 350? 360? Are you here, Paul? 370 donations. 380? Gerald, I know you're here. Thank you so much. 400 donations. Brett, I know I saw you, and Bill Schnarr. Thank you. 410 donations. 420. Hey, Guy, thank you. 450 donations. We have one more donor who has surpassed that 450 mark, who I'm going to ask to come up. He's surpassed it by about 100. So Rick Martin, who has donated slightly over 550 times, could you join me on the stage?
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Smile. You got it?
Thank you, Rick. Appreciate it. The next group that I'd like to honor is our volunteer blood drive sponsors. These people put in a lot of work, a lot of hours. We could not do our blood drives without them. So they kind of do a lot of the footwork. We give them the raw materials that they need, and they give us the donors that we need and our patients need. So I would like for all of the volunteer blood drive coordinators to please stand. Thank you so much. We could not do it without you. At this time, we're going to recognize the American Association of Blood Banks 10-gallon lifetime donors. All donations made by an individual to any blood collection agency towards a count of 10 gallons is considered a lifetime achievement by the American Association of Blood Banks. So as I call your names, please come up to my left, your right, to the stage to receive your award, and we're going to do a couple pictures over there. Robert Arendt, James Baer, Timothy Balcom, Judith Bennett, Charles Berlin, Robert Callahan, Edward F. Cook, John DeJong, Jeffrey Eck, Linda Gammon, Patricia Hammer, Susan Herder, Donna Johnston, Jeffrey Jones, Richard Lara, Tina McMahon, Alton Millhouse, Lawrence Murphy, William Owen, Patricia Palermo, Linda Rathborn, James Sherman, George Short, William Watkins, Joseph Weller, and Kathleen White Wanger. You want to come, yeah, you come back up? Sure. Here, we'll kind of just file to both sides. That's good. Squeeze in. Don't go far. Come back this way, look.
Come back this way.
In here? Yep. She's gonna get a picture. Smiles, everyone. Smiles. Thank you. Oh, cool colors, cool. At this time, we're going to present our Presidential Award. Heather, could you join me? The Presidential Award, chosen each year by INOVA Blood Donor Services employees, is given to one organization that exemplifies creativity, dedication, and diligence in support of blood donation in our community. Over 70% of the blood INOVA Blood Donor Services collects comes from our communities. From that group of organizations, only one organization is chosen to receive the Presidential Award. This award is in honor of our current CEO, the current CEO of INOVA Health Systems, Knox Singleton. An extraordinary example of volunteerism in the community, the 2016 recipient is the Department of State Bureau of Diplomatic Security. We've worked with them since January of 2016, and after 3 or 4 blood drives, they've donated 173 units, saving 519 lives. I'd like Aaron Codaspodi to please join us up on stage.
You said my name perfectly. Actually, it's too impressive.
We practiced.
Let's see, we haven't.
Hang on, we're gonna get some pictures, and we phoneticed it. Okay, we're gonna get pictures right here. Hey, thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Appreciate it. Dr. Sese, would you please join me on stage? The remainder of the evening is going to be a couple of very special speakers who are going to pass along some great information. Dr. Sese is our medical director, and she is going to introduce the first speaker. Where'd you go? Oh.
Thank you, AJ. First of all, thank you all for attending this special evening. Your type matters. Thank you from the bottom of our hearts. Anyway, it's an honor and pleasure for me to introduce our first speaker, Dr. Dhanani. He's got a long list of accomplishments and accolades, as you can see in the program. So I'm just going to highlight the highlights in his career. So Dr. Dhanani completed his residency training in internal medicine in Peoria, Illinois. And he completed a fellowship in critical care medicine at Brown University program at Miriam Hospital. And he went on to start the hospitalist and critical care medicine program at Newport Hospital in Newport, Rhode Island. And in June 2009, we were very fortunate at INOVA to have him come on board and to pursue his passion for critical care medicine full-time. Dr. Dhanani has faculty appointments at George Washington University, Georgetown University, VCU, and others. In his spare time, when he bikes, and he just loves life. And I don't know how he finds the time. But so we're very, very fortunate to have him. And so let's welcome Dr. Dhanani, an amazing person, a friend, and a colleague. We're very fortunate to have him this evening. Welcome, Dr. Dhanani.
Thank you, Grace. I had a whole list of things to say, but as I look around this room, I am just floored. Just absolutely floored. There are people here who have spent, if you were to add it up, continuously more than 2 to 3 months of their life with a needle in their arm giving blood. A 16-gauge needle. I'm a life support doctor. I can't do what I do without all of you. And what a privilege it is for me to stand here before you and just witness the faces that are behind all those red bags and yellow bags that I write an order for, and they magically appear. It is very humbling, and I thank you from the bottom of my heart for this incredible privilege. Thank you so much. Give yourselves a big hand. Thank you, Grace. I think what I want to start off is just go over 3 or 4 groups of people that we need to acknowledge from our standpoint as physicians. The coordinators, firstly, who have worked tirelessly to organize these blood drives, get all the donors organized, find venues. I can't imagine how you have achieved this scale of support. The donors who spend 1 to 2 hours at a time donating, the lab techs who process the blood, separate products, allow us to order what we need to. The doctors who are caring for these patients, they write an order, blood product magically appears, and it's transfused into a patient. Being a life support doctor, I take care of patients who are critically ill, who are frequently on a ventilator or heart-lung machine, have a massive brain injury, have an abdominal blood vessel like an aortic aneurysm that has ruptured and they're internally hemorrhaging. They have a big ulcer that has bled. And not infrequently, I've had to throw away a pair of shoes and socks because I had to run to the bedside of a patient who is physically bleeding out. Last year alone, in 2016, 30,000 blood products were transfused into patients. 30,000 from our INOVA blood bank alone. In our hospital, at Fairfax Hospital, which is over 900 beds, it's a referral center, and we have over 200, maybe over 300 critical care level beds. We have had 183 instances where a person has had a massive hemorrhage. A massive hemorrhage is something where a person is losing more than the entire volume of blood in their body. Just to illustrate to you, as I stand here, I don't have more than 5 or 6 liters of blood, maybe a little over a gallon, or maybe 2. There are people who've donated 28 gallons. Just think about that. That is incredible. When a person hemorrhages, they're losing the entire volume of blood in their body. They're going to die immediately. I pick up the phone, someone answers in the blood bank, and I say, I want to initiate our massive transfusion protocol. Or there's a lady in childbirth, and she starts to hemorrhage, and we say, we have an obstetric hemorrhage. We start instituting life support measures, put the patient on life support, and magically there's a cooler there. 6 to 8 units of blood, more coming. No questions asked. We don't even think about where that blood came from at the time. We have a person who's about to die. There are so many lives saved in those emergencies that I've personally witnessed, just in the last year alone. We had 62 traumas, 28 massive gastrointestinal hemorrhages, 74 obstetric hemorrhages, a bunch of people who had a ruptured aneurysm in their abdomen, some people who were bleeding in their brains. And we saved a heck of a lot of them. And I couldn't have done it. None of us could have done anything without all of you sitting here, all of you. We prescribe the blood and the products that you folks have donated. And those patients, so many of them are alive today because of you, just last year alone. So thank you again so much. The blood types on our massive transfusion coolers tend to be O negative. We don't know what the blood type on a patient coming in the emergency room is, or in an ICU. They've rapidly been admitted. O negative blood gets used a lot. We are currently, with the help of Dr. Sese and Dr. Abdul Salam in the blood bank, we have revised our policies to say if there's a man who's hemorrhaging, maybe we can use O positive blood. If you know the blood type, we'll do a massive transfusion with their blood type. Thanks to the blood bank's tireless efforts, we're managing to streamline some processes and efficiently use the blood that you're so graciously donating. At this time, I would just also like to acknowledge the fact in disasters, the personnel of this blood bank rose above and beyond what could be reasonably expected. We had a snowstorm. There was 3-4 feet of snow in certain areas on the road. We had a trauma patient in the emergency room going into the operating room, hemorrhaging severely. We had another person who had a ruptured aneurysm in their belly. And we're running out of platelets. We're running out of blood. Pick up the phone. Terry, Gloria, Grace, somebody help. Sure enough, a member of the blood bank staff gets in their car in a snowstorm and is driving across from Sterling with the platelets, 1 unit of platelets, all that we had left that day, because we're running out now. And we split that unit. And we could provide care to those people. So thank you all for giving so massively your own blood, all the products that allow us to have the privilege of doing our job and allow those patients to survive. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Everybody knows the show can't be over without a commercial. So now a word from our sponsors. I want to talk a little bit about our summer campaign we've worked so hard on, and it is about you, superheroes. Okay. What does the next one look like? Oh, this is so cool. Look, that's all our colors. Hey, everybody who has worn their color for their blood type tonight, stand up just real quickly. Is that cool or what? Okay. And what do you get? That is not what you get. Let's go to what you get. There's what you get. Are those neat? So we have a whole campaign for the summer. Take this information, tell your friends, tell everybody who wasn't invited to the dinner how they can be invited to the dinner. Summers are always such a hard time for us. We lose our high school blood drives. You know, our high schools donate about 15% of all the blood that we use from our high school students. And all summer long, we lose them. We got to make up for lost donors. So we work really hard for the summer. So please take this information, tell all your friends, get them in. can collect all these t-shirts, and these are one of a kind. Okay. Okay, Heather, can you join me on stage, please?
It is really a privilege for me to introduce our second guest speaker. Jennifer Bryan is a mother to probably the cutest little girl I've ever met, and I'm not even related to her. So Jennifer has a story for you, part to spread the message on HLH, which she can pronounce it for you, and also to let you know that there is a happy ending because of blood donation and marrow donors. So give Jennifer a warm welcome, and her family, her husband Adam, and her daughter Audrey.
All right, let's see if I can do this. So my name is Jennifer Bryan, as Heather mentioned. This is my husband Adam and my daughter Audrey. So she's okay. You wave and say hi. There she is. She's not shy at all. So Audrey was born November 1st, 2014. She was a happy, healthy little girl. We were very active in the community. She went to music class, play groups, swim lessons. I think she was only sick maybe once the entire first year of her life. So a week after her first birthday, actually, she was diagnosed with something called hemophagocytic lymphohistiocytosis, or HLH. You don't have to repeat. There won't be a quiz at the end. So HLH is a rare, life-threatening immune disorder, and it was attacking Audrey's little body. And we were told pretty much that it was going to kill her if we didn't do something very quickly. And so her only chance of living a full life was a bone marrow transplant. So we found out, she had 7 of the 8 markers, and it was happening. So one of the very first things that they did for her, one of the very first things they did, she was diagnosed at INOVA, Fairfax Hospital. We were inpatient for about 2 weeks, but the very first thing they did was give her platelets. The very next morning, they gave her whole blood, and in the first 6 weeks after being diagnosed, she received 3 platelet transfusions, 2 whole blood transfusions, and 2 IVIG antibody transfusions, which also come from some of your donations. So all of this in a tiny little body within the first 6 weeks at the hospital. So almost immediately after the transfusion, we noticed a difference. The color returned to her cheek. She had more energy, and she actually started eating again. So without these life-saving blood products, we're not really sure what would have happened. Everything about, not yet. She has a lot to tell you, but we'll wait a little bit. So on Christmas, she can get down. She's okay. On Christmas Eve of 2015, we actually found out that Audrey had 100 bone marrow matches. So we were very, very lucky, and we were able to pick the best of the best match for her. And so, dress down, please. And so 1 week later, we picked up and we moved to Cincinnati, excuse her. We moved to Cincinnati so that she could be treated at Cincinnati Children's Hospital under the direct care of Dr. Jordan. And on February 25th, 2016, so a little over a year ago, Audrey received 193 milliliters of bone marrow from a complete stranger, someone that we don't know and we won't get any information about for another year. We found out he was a 32-year-old international male. So somehow this international male completely matched our daughter. So she spent 35 days in the hospital. We lived in Cincinnati for about 6 months. And on June 4th of last year, we were sent home. So happy to say that she is a very healthy, talkative, rambunctious, defiant, funny, healthy toddler. So we, while her transplant was extremely successful, she actually developed an autoimmune disorder called autoimmune hemolytic anemia, which means her red blood cells are actually dying faster than they're being produced. So Audrey is still being closely monitored by her hematologist in Falls Church, and still requires blood transfusions if her hemoglobin gets too low. It's been a few months, so fingers crossed that we're out of the woods, but we beat the HLH, and the transplant was good, but nothing is easy. So we're still dealing with that. So keep giving those donations. She might need them. So I want to thank each of you. The doctor said it, but thank you so much for all that you do, for your time, for your just dedication. Without platelets, blood, antibodies, and then ultimately her bone marrow transplant, I'm really not sure where we would be today. And thanks to your generosity, other families just like ours will be able to have their happy ending and their crazy little 2-year-old running around. So come here. What do you? Hold on. Thank you. You say, thank you for coming.
Thank you, Torrin.
Can you blow kiss? Here we go.
Say no more tubies.
Oh, you want to say something else? Go ahead.
No more tubies.
So Audrey got she had a central line, which some of you may know what that is, but it is a tube that went through the center of her chest up into
No more tubies.
No more tubies. Into the center of her chest up into her jugular, and that was how she would receive instead of instead of getting poked with needles, she had these tubes so she could give blood, or they would draw blood.
No more tubies. No.
She's a little excited, but that was how she got her
No
blood
more
transfusions,
tubies.
her platelet transfusions, and her
No
bone
more
marrow.
tubies.
Oh my goodness! All right, so no more tubies. Thank you, everyone. All right.
Okay, I don't have any more pages, which is fortunate. I don't think I could follow that act for very long. So I will close the evening by thanking everyone once again, all of the blood donors who are here. We appreciate you so much. Our patients have survived because of you. You are superheroes. And I also want to thank all of the IBDS staff again and all the INOVA staff. Especially Julia Ward. Could you come up and join me? Julia is our marketing manager. This is her first donor dinner, and this can be a harrowing experience, and I think it went off without a hitch. We appreciate you so much. Thank you. Okay, I'm told that as you leave, there is a tornado warning. It is pouring outside. So they have cleared off the patio as quickly as they could. Hopefully the weather will pass very soon. In any case, I want you to be careful driving home. And once again, thank you so much for being here. What? Wait, I have one more thing. The flowers on the table. So you'll have to decide this amongst yourselves, but the person who has donated the most and the person who has donated the least each get one of the flower arrangements. If there's a tie, try and work that out. We'll break up any fights with water. Thank you again.